What if I told you that some of the greatest puzzles in history will never have an answer? Not because we aren't clever enough to solve them, but because time itself has locked the truth away. Imagine ancient maps that chart lands no human should have known about. Monuments built with such impossible precision, they laugh in the face of modern technology. Messages carved into stone that whisper in a language no one alive can read. These mysteries don't just sit in dusty museums. They stare back at us, daring us to explain them. And yet, every attempt leaves us with more questions than answers. So are we really uncovering history? Or are we peeling back the edge of something far stranger, something that was never meant to be fully understood? Stay with me, because by the end of this journey, you might find yourself questioning not just history, but reality itself. Before we dive headfirst into the unknown, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. And hey, if you've got your own theory about any of these mysteries, drop it down in the comments. Who knows? Your idea might just be the missing piece we've all been searching for. 1. The map that shouldn't exist. In 1929, a team of scholars stumbled upon an old, fragile parchment tucked away in Istanbul's Topkapi Palace. At first glance, it seemed like any other Renaissance-era map. But then came the shock. It clearly showed parts of South America, and even Antarctica, drawn centuries before anyone officially discovered those lands. This was the Piri Reis map, created by an Ottoman admiral in 1513. According to history, Europeans at that time barely knew what lay beyond the Atlantic. Yet here was a map outlining coastlines with uncanny precision. Some sections looked so accurate, experts swore they resembled modern aerial surveys. But how could Piri Reis have known this? He claimed he compiled it from older maps, some dating back to the time of Alexander the Great. That alone raises an unsettling possibility. Could advanced ancient civilizations have charted the globe long before us? And then there's Antarctica. On the Piri Reis map, it appears not as the frozen wasteland we know today, but as if it were ice-free. Geologists say Antarctica hasn't been ice-free for thousands of years. So who could have possibly mapped it? Was Piri Reis simply a genius cartographer who got lucky? Or did he tap into knowledge that history says shouldn't have existed? The map sits in Istanbul to this day, an enigma inked on animal skin, taunting us with coastlines that don't fit the timeline of human discovery. 2. The codex nobody can read. Hidden away in the archives of Yale University sits a book that has baffled every expert who has ever laid eyes on it. Its pages are filled with looping, alien-like handwriting and vibrant illustrations of plants that don't exist anywhere on Earth. This is the Voynich manuscript, a text so mysterious that for over 600 years, not a single person has managed to decipher it. Written on fine vellum in the early 1400s, the book is about the size of a modern novel, but its contents feel more like something out of science fiction. Whole paragraphs flow effortlessly, as if following real linguistic rules. Yet the language itself is completely unknown. It's not Latin, not Greek, not any human tongue we've ever seen. Cryptographers, code breakers, even military intelligence during World War II all tried to crack its code. Some believed it was an elaborate hoax, while others swore it contained medical recipes, alchemical secrets, or even a guide to another world. And the illustrations only deepen the puzzle. Naked figures bathing in green pools, bizarre star charts, and plants that sprout like dreams. If the book is a prank, it's a masterpiece of nonsense. But if it isn't, then it's a window into a lost knowledge system we can't begin to understand. Even now, the Voynich manuscript sits in its glass case, silent and unreadable. a book without a voice, waiting for someone who may never come. 3. The city beneath the sea. Off the coast of Japan's Yonaguni Island lies a submerged stone structure that has fueled one of archaeology's fiercest debates. At a depth of about 80 feet, divers discovered what looks like a massive stepped pyramid, complete with terraces, platforms, and sharp angular lines. Some experts insist it's a natural rock formation, shaped by millennia of shifting currents and erosion. But others see something more deliberate: man-made stairways, flat walls, and even what looks like a road leading away from the site. If it really is a city, then it dates back at least 10,000 years, long before any known advanced civilization in that region. That would rewrite history as we know it. The most haunting detail: if Yonaguni was once above sea level, then rising oceans swallowed it whole, leaving behind a lost chapter of human history beneath the waves. Was this the work of forgotten builders, proof of a civilization erased by time, or simply an extraordinary trick of nature? No diver can descend without feeling a strange weight, as if the stones themselves are guarding secrets we're not meant to uncover. For now, Yonaguni remains suspended between fact and fantasy, a city that may or may not have ever lived. 4. The unfinished obelisk. In the granite quarries of Aswan, Egypt, lies a monument that was never completed. The unfinished obelisk is the largest piece of stone ever attempted by human hands, nearly 137 feet long and weighing an estimated 1,200 tons. But halfway through its creation, disaster struck. Cracks formed in the granite, forcing the workers to abandon it. Today, it lies frozen in time, still attached to the bedrock, as if the workers just walked away yesterday. The scale alone raises questions. How did ancient Egyptians plan to move such a colossal object without modern cranes, trucks, or steel cables? Even with today's technology, transporting it would be nearly impossible. Some argue the obelisk shows evidence of advanced techniques, pointing to strange marks on the stone that don't fully match known tools of the time. Were the Egyptians experimenting with methods we've long forgotten? What makes it eerie is that the obelisk feels like a snapshot of failure. We see the ambition, the genius, and then sudden collapse. It reminds us that even the most advanced civilizations of their age faced limits. And yet, the unfinished obelisk whispers of secrets still buried in the quarries, knowledge of stonework that might explain how Egypt's greatest monuments were born. 5. The ghost ship of the sea. On December 5, 1872, a British ship spotted a vessel drifting silently in the Atlantic. It was the Mary Celeste, fully intact, sails still up, cargo untouched. But the crew? Gone. Not a single soul remained on board. The lifeboat was missing, yet everything else, from food supplies to the captain's logbook, was exactly where it should have been. No signs of struggle, no damage to suggest piracy. It was as if the crew simply vanished into thin air. Theories poured in. Some claimed an alcohol explosion from the cargo forced the crew to abandon ship. Others whispered about mutiny, sea monsters, or even alien abductions. None of the explanations fit perfectly. What deepens the mystery is that the Mary Celeste was in good condition when found. If the crew had left in panic, why abandon a perfectly seaworthy ship in the middle of the ocean? Even today, the Mary Celeste stands as one of the greatest maritime mysteries. No evidence has ever surfaced to reveal the fate of her 10 missing crew members. It's the kind of riddle that makes the ocean feel vast and haunted, a reminder that, out there on the endless waves, some stories are swallowed whole and never returned. 6. The Baghdad Battery. In the 1930s, archaeologists excavating near Baghdad discovered a strange clay jar with a copper cylinder inside, sealed with asphalt and containing an iron rod. At first, it looked like a simple storage vessel, but when scientists tested it, they realized it could generate a small electric charge. This artifact, dating back 2,000 years, is now called the Baghdad Battery. The idea that ancient people might have harnessed electricity long before its discovery is mind-bending. Some believe the device was used for electroplating, coating objects in precious metals. Others suggest it had religious or medicinal purposes, delivering a mild shock as part of rituals. Skeptics argue it may have just been a storage jar with no electrical function at all. But the fact remains, when reconstructed, the battery does produce power. If true, it means ancient civilizations knew far more about science than we give them credit for. And if they had knowledge of electricity, what else might they have discovered and lost long before history picked up the thread again? The Baghdad Battery sits quietly in a museum, a clay jar that humbles modern arrogance. Sometimes, progress isn't as linear as we like to think. 7. The Nazca Lines. Stretching across the dry plains of southern Peru are giant designs etched into the earth, spanning hundreds of feet, visible only from the sky. These are the Nazca Lines, and they remain one of the most bewildering artistic achievements in human history. There are straight lines running for miles, intricate geometric patterns, and massive depictions of animals: a hummingbird, a monkey, a spider, even what looks like an astronaut-like figure. The catch? The Nazca people carved them around 500 CE, long before airplanes, drones, or satellites existed. From the ground, they're nearly impossible to grasp. From above, they explode into meaning. Were they offerings to the gods, giant calendars, or messages to beings in the sky? Some believe they were ritual walkways, meant to be followed in sacred ceremonies. Others claim they were meant to be seen by visitors, not from this earth. What's most incredible is their survival. The desert's dry climate has preserved the lines for centuries, making them a silent gallery that refuses to fade. Standing on the ground, you might see only shallow trenches in the dust, but rise above, and suddenly, the desert comes alive with messages that no one has fully translated. It's as if the Nazca were speaking in a language of scale, one meant for eyes far above their own. 8. The Tunguska Blast. In 1908, a massive explosion shook Siberia's remote Tunguska region. The blast flattened 800 square miles of forest, knocking down over 80 million trees. Eyewitnesses described a fireball streaking across the sky, followed by a shockwave so powerful it shattered windows hundreds of miles away. And yet, no crater was ever found. Scientists believe it was caused by a meteor or comet exploding in the atmosphere. But if that's the case, why was no trace of space rock ever discovered? Some theories suggest it was an icy comet that vaporized completely. Others go further. Perhaps it was a secret weapon, a black hole, or even an alien craft. The Tunguska event remains the largest impact-like explosion in recorded history. But it left behind nothing tangible. No debris, no impact site, only scorched earth and endless speculation. Even today, expeditions continue to comb the region, hoping to find answers. But the deeper mystery lingers. How can something so devastating leave so little behind? It's a reminder that sometimes nature's greatest events are not written in stone, but in absence. A hole in the record where certainty should be. 9. The Antikythera mechanism. In 1901, divers exploring a shipwreck off the coast of Antikythera, Greece, pulled up something extraordinary. At first, it looked like a corroded lump of bronze, but inside were gears, dials, and inscriptions, evidence of a device so advanced it seemed impossible for its time. This is the Antikythera mechanism, often called the world's first computer. Built around 100 BCE, it could predict lunar eclipses, track planetary movements, and calculate celestial events with astonishing accuracy. Nothing like it appears again in history for over 1,000 years. The precision of its gears rivals that of 18th century clockmakers. How did ancient Greeks achieve such engineering mastery? And why did that knowledge disappear? Some believe it was a one-of-a-kind genius invention, never replicated. Others suggest it was part of a broader technological tradition that was lost to time. Whatever the case, the Antikythera mechanism challenges our assumptions about ancient intelligence. It proves that humanity's capacity for brilliance isn't bound by eras. It can surface at any time, only to vanish again. Today, fragments of the device sit in a museum in Athens, reconstructed with modern imaging, but the truth of its origins and the minds behind it remain cloaked in mystery. 10. The Dancing Plague. In the summer of 1518, residents of Strasbourg, France, witnessed something terrifying and bizarre. A woman stepped into the street and began dancing, alone, frantically, uncontrollably. Within days, dozens joined her. Within weeks, hundreds were dancing without rest. This was the dancing plague, a phenomenon where people literally could not stop moving. Some collapsed from exhaustion. Others reportedly danced themselves to death. No one knows what caused it. Some historians blame ergot poisoning, a hallucinogenic mold growing on rye bread. Others suggest mass hysteria, brought on by famine, disease, and desperation. There are even theories of spiritual possession, but none fully explain why so many people danced relentlessly for so long. What's chilling is the helplessness of it all. Town officials even hired musicians, thinking it would cure the outbreak. Instead, it only fueled the frenzy. Eventually, the plague faded as mysteriously as it began, leaving behind confusion and fear. The dancing plague reminds us how fragile the human mind can be, and how easily entire communities can slip into the unexplainable. It's a mystery that dances through history, one we still can't choreograph with reason. 11. The Lost Colony of Roanoke. In 1587, over 100 English settlers established a colony on Roanoke Island, off the coast of modern North Carolina. 3 years later, when supply ships returned, the settlement was deserted. Homes were dismantled, belongings abandoned, and the only clue was a single word carved into a post: Croatoan. The fate of the Roanoke colonists remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Did they integrate with local tribes? Did they die of disease, starvation, or conflict? Or were they wiped out entirely, leaving nothing behind but a cryptic message? Archaeologists have searched for evidence, uncovering hints of English goods at Native American sites, but no definitive proof. Some suggest they moved inland, others believe they were lost to violence or famine. What unsettles historians most is the silence. Usually, history leaves traces, bones, records, ruins. But here, the trail vanishes completely. Roanoke is often called the Lost Colony, but in truth, it's something deeper, a vanished story. A human chapter cut out of the book of history, leaving only a haunting word etched in wood, still echoing centuries later. 12. The Crystal Skulls. Across the world, from Mexico to Tibet, dozens of life-sized crystal skulls have been discovered. Carved from single pieces of quartz, they are so precise and polished that modern scientists struggle to explain how they were made without advanced tools. The most famous is the Mitchell Hedges skull, allegedly found in Belize in the 1920s. Legends claim the skulls possess mystical powers, visions, healing, even the ability to unlock hidden knowledge. Skeptics argue many skulls were crafted in the 19th century, their ancient origins fabricated. But even modern tests show some skulls have no detectable tool marks, as if shaped by methods still unknown. For indigenous cultures, the skulls are sacred objects tied to prophecy and spiritual power. For others, they are simply artifacts of extraordinary craftsmanship. What makes them enduring mysteries isn't just their creation. It's the aura of energy people swear they feel around them. Real or imagined, the crystal skulls sit on the line between archaeology and legend, fact and faith. They remind us that sometimes mystery isn't just about what we can prove. It's about what people continue to believe. 13. The Bermuda Triangle. Stretching between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico lies a patch of ocean infamous for swallowing ships and planes, the Bermuda Triangle. Since the 1940s, dozens of vessels have vanished here under mysterious circumstances. One of the most famous was Flight 19, a squadron of U.S. Navy bombers in 1945 that disappeared mid-mission, along with the rescue planes sent after them. No wreckage was ever recovered. Theories abound: magnetic anomalies that disrupt navigation, methane gas eruptions from the seafloor, sudden rogue waves, or even alien abductions. Skeptics argue the triangle has no more accidents than any other busy ocean corridor. But the sheer drama of the disappearances has embedded it in popular imagination. What makes the Bermuda Triangle chilling is the silence. Distress calls cut off mid-sentence. Ships vanish without a trace. Planes disappear from radar in clear weather. Is it superstition, statistical anomaly, or does something truly strange lurk beneath those waters? The mystery endures, drawing both thrill-seekers and skeptics into its legend. 14. The Devil's Bible. In a quiet library in Sweden rests one of the most unsettling manuscripts ever written, the Codex Gigas, also called the Devil's Bible. This medieval book is enormous, 3 feet tall, weighing over 160 pounds, bound in animal skin. Its contents include the entire Latin Bible, historical texts, and medical advice. But what makes it infamous is a full-page illustration of the devil, glaring out in vivid detail. Legend claims the book was written by a single monk in the 13th century, who made a pact with the devil to complete it in one night. Scientific tests show it was written by one hand, with handwriting so consistent it suggests decades of labor. But the question remains, why include such a disturbing portrait of Satan in a holy text? Was it a warning, a tribute, a confession? The Codex Gigas feels less like a book and more like a riddle carved into parchment, part scripture, part mystery, part curse. Even today, flipping through its pages stirs an eerie sense of awe, as if you're holding something not meant for mortal hands. 15. The Green Children of Woolpit. In 12th century England, villagers in Woolpit made a bizarre discovery. 2 children, a boy and a girl, appeared near the village edge. Their skin was green. They spoke a language no one understood. The children were weak and disoriented, refusing to eat anything except raw beans. Over time, they adapted, their skin color fading. The boy grew sick and died, but the girl survived, learning English. She claimed they came from a place called the Land of Saint Martin, where the sun never shone and everything was bathed in twilight. Historians have debated the tale for centuries. Were they malnourished foreigners, their greenish hue caused by illness? Or were they travelers from some hidden world, peeking briefly into ours? The story was recorded by reputable medieval chroniclers, suggesting it wasn't dismissed as folklore. Yet it remains impossible to verify. The Green Children of Woolpit blur the line between myth and reality. They remind us how even the most ordinary English countryside can host the extraordinary. 16. The Zodiac Killer. Between 1968 and 1969, the San Francisco Bay Area was terrorized by a serial killer who called himself the Zodiac. He taunted police and newspapers with letters and cryptograms, some of which remain unsolved to this day. The Zodiac claimed to have killed as many as 37 people, though only 7 confirmed victims are known. What made him terrifying wasn't just the murders, but his games, riddles, ciphers, and strange symbols sent to the press. For decades, codebreakers and amateur sleuths have tried to crack his puzzles. In 2020, a team finally solved one cipher, but it revealed only vague taunts, not the killer's identity. Others remain unbroken. Despite countless suspects, the Zodiac was never caught. His true identity remains one of the greatest mysteries in criminal history. There's something chilling in how his words outlived his crimes. While victims' names faded into headlines, his cryptic messages endure, still daring us to understand them. 17. The Phoenix Lights. On March 13, 1997, thousands of people across Arizona reported strange lights hovering silently in the night sky. They stretched for miles, forming a giant V shape. Some described massive triangular craft blocking out the stars. The event became known as the Phoenix Lights, one of the most widely witnessed UFO sightings in history. The U.S. military later claimed the lights were flares from training exercises, but eyewitnesses insisted what they saw wasn't flares. It was structured, coordinated, and impossibly large. Among the witnesses was Arizona's governor, who years later admitted he too had seen the lights and believed they were not military in origin. The Phoenix Lights highlight why UFO mysteries endure. They weren't witnessed by a handful of people. They were seen by thousands across cities and highways, with no single explanation satisfying everyone. Even now, the footage remains some of the most compelling evidence of the unknown, hovering just above us. 18. The WOW signal. In 1977, astronomer Jerry Amon was scanning the skies with Ohio State University's Big Ear radio telescope when he spotted something unusual, a strong narrowband radio signal coming from the constellation Sagittarius. It lasted 72 seconds. Stunned, he circled it on the printout and wrote one word in the margin. Wow. The signal was never detected again. No satellites, no planets, no known sources matched its profile. It appeared artificial, like a deliberate transmission. Scientists have searched the same region for decades, but the WOW signal has never repeated. Some suggest it was a natural cosmic event we don't yet understand. Others hold it as the closest humanity has ever come to hearing from intelligent life beyond Earth. The haunting part isn't just the mystery, it's the silence that followed. One fleeting signal, lost in the cosmic static, that may have been our only hello from the stars. 19. The Overtown Bridge. In Scotland, near the town of Dumbarton, stands the Overtown Bridge, a picturesque stone crossing built in the 19th century. But it carries a dark reputation. For decades, dogs have leapt from the bridge to their deaths, often from the exact same spot. Over 300 cases have been recorded. Locals call it the dog suicide bridge. Animal behaviorists suggest the scent of mink or other animals may lure dogs off the edge, but many owners insist their pets acted strangely, calm one moment, frantic the next, before leaping as if compelled. Some residents believe the bridge is cursed, haunted by restless spirits. Others point to the geography. The bridge's design creates an optical illusion, hiding the deadly drop below. Still, the sheer number of cases keeps the legend alive. Even today, warnings advise dog owners to keep pets on leashes when crossing. The Overtown Bridge stands as a chilling reminder that mystery isn't only ancient or cosmic. Sometimes it lies in the everyday world, where even man's best friend becomes a victim of the unknown. 20. The Black Knight Satellite. Orbiting Earth, some believe, is an object not launched by us. It's called the Black Knight Satellite, a supposed alien probe first spotted in the 20th century. Radio signals in the 1950s, strange photographs from early space missions, and radar anomalies all fed the legend. Enthusiasts claim the object has been circling Earth for thousands of years, watching us silently. NASA insists the satellite is nothing more than space debris, particularly a thermal blanket lost during a mission. But photographs of a dark, oddly shaped object fuel speculation. The idea of an ancient alien probe monitoring Earth sounds like science fiction, yet it refuses to disappear from popular imagination. Is it a myth built on misidentifications, or evidence of something we aren't ready to acknowledge? Whatever it is, the Black Knight serves as a mirror for our own hopes and fears. Are we alone, or have we always been observed? 21st. The Dyatlov Pass Incident. In 1959, 9 experienced hikers set out into the Ural Mountains of Soviet Russia. None returned alive. Their campsite was found with tents slashed open from the inside, belongings left behind, and bodies scattered in the snow. The causes of death varied, some from hypothermia, others with severe internal injuries, but no external wounds. One victim was missing her tongue. Another's clothes contained traces of radiation. Theories range from avalanche to secret weapons testing, from Yetis to extraterrestrials. Soviet authorities kept the investigation vague, fueling conspiracy. What haunts investigators is the chaos of it all. Why would skilled hikers flee their tents in sub-zero temperatures without shoes or coats? What force drove them into the night? Even after decades of research, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains a chilling puzzle. It's not just a mystery of death. It's a story of human terror carved into frozen wilderness. 22. The Shroud of Turin. In Turin, Italy, lies a length of linen cloth bearing the faint image of a man's face and body. Many believe it to be the burial shroud of Jesus Christ. The Shroud of Turin has been studied more than any other religious relic. Radiocarbon dating suggests it was made in the Middle Ages, yet the image itself defies explanation. It's not paint, not dye, not known printing techniques. Some scientists argue it was created by a burst of intense light or energy. For believers, it's proof of resurrection. For skeptics, it's a clever medieval forgery. Yet even skeptics admit the exact method of its creation is unknown. The shroud isn't just a relic, it's a battlefield of faith and science. Its mystery lies not only in what it is, but in what people see in it, a divine miracle or human ingenuity. 23. The Oak Island Mystery. Off the coast of Nova Scotia lies Oak Island, home to a pit that has driven treasure hunters mad for over 200 years. Known as the Money Pit, it's a deep shaft rumored to conceal buried riches, possibly pirate gold, the Holy Grail, or even Shakespeare's manuscripts. Excavations have found wooden platforms, tunnels, and mysterious artifacts. But every attempt to reach the bottom has ended in collapse, flooding, or tragedy. Is there truly treasure buried beneath Oak Island? Or is it just a natural sinkhole feeding centuries of obsession? Even today, teams still dig, armed with modern technology, chasing a legend that refuses to die. The Oak Island mystery isn't just about gold. It's about humanity's eternal hunger for secrets, and the lengths we'll go to uncover them. 24. The Taos Hum. In the small town of Taos, New Mexico, residents report hearing a low, persistent hum, like the distant idling of a truck. It's been called the Taos Hum, and no one knows its source. Not everyone hears it, but those who do describe it as maddening, keeping them awake at night. Scientists have investigated, searching for mechanical sources, geological vibrations, or even auditory illusions. No clear cause has ever been identified. Some believe it's a psychological phenomenon. Others point to secret military projects. For those who hear it daily, the lack of answers is agonizing. The Taos Hum is a modern mystery, an invisible riddle you don't see but feel. Proof that sometimes the strangest phenomena are not ancient relics, but the world humming right beneath our feet. 25. The Great Silence. When we look up at the night sky, we see billions of stars. Many of them have planets. By sheer numbers, intelligent life should be common, and yet, we hear nothing. This is the Fermi paradox, often called the Great Silence. If life is out there, why hasn't it contacted us? Some suggest civilizations destroy themselves before reaching interstellar travel. Others believe they're out there, but avoiding us deliberately. Perhaps we're simply too early or too insignificant to notice. The mystery isn't just scientific, it's existential. Are we truly alone in the universe, or are we part of a story so vast we can't yet comprehend it? The Great Silence lingers not in what we know, but in what we don't. It is the ultimate unsolved mystery, stretching beyond history, beyond Earth, into the endless dark.